Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Wendy Chen. It's good to have you with us. In this week's headlines, we continue to bring you updated news of how the flooding is affecting local residents in central Taiwan. As the Dragon Boats Festival is just a week away, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia are holding the annual 10,000 Zhongzi One Heart fundraising campaign. And we go to Tzu Chi University in Hualien to find out the positive influence its students is bringing to their community. The monsoon rains that began last weekend have seemed to finally ease up. However, serious damage can be seen all around the island. The storm is not over yet, as weather forecast indicates that a typhoon will be passing by Taiwan over the weekend, which will bring rain and strong winds. We ask everyone to be more cautious and keep an eye on the news. Now we take you to central Taiwan to get an update on the situation at Awanda, Sanwan and Lushan.
The upscale Bihua Hot Spring Resort in central Taiwan's Lushan area and 6 others like it were overwhelmed by muddy flood waters. The floodgates which these resorts installed simply could not withstand the might of mudslides triggered by the recent monsoon.
The mudslides just ravaged this whole area. Some inns downstream are now covered in sediment more than waist high. To clear it away will take at least a week. The mudslides even ran off onto the roadways.
Mandatory evacuation for Lushan's tourists and residents began on the 12th. When some of them came back to check on their homes later, they were saddened by what they saw. For those few who remained behind, they finally called it quits and got ready to evacuate as well. Even this convenience store that is supposed to stay open 24 hours a day all year long is closing down.
We've been notified by the headquarters to close down. We're not shutting down permanently. It's just that a landslide claimed the life here, so we're going to evacuate.
The 7.2 flood of 2004 decimated the Lushan area. Since then, whenever there's a storm or typhoon, landslides and mudslides occur. On May 30th, the Nantou County government finally decided to abolish the Lushan Hot Spring Resort, deeming it no longer safe for human habitation. Traveling northward to Sanwan Township in Miaoli, several utility poles ripped off by floodwaters lie by the riverbed.
The temporary passage, utility poles, cable lines, all of them are gone.
Due to the flood damage, the nearby community has lost the use of its phone lines and internet servers. Repair crews have been dispatched to remedy the situation. The National Airborne Service Corps has a chopper searching up and down the Wanda River in Nantou's Awanda. The once pristine scenery is no more. Xu Deyi from the Forest District Office apparently was washed away by the raging torrent.
We have dispatched 3 flights for the search and rescue effort. However, due to the water height, we haven't located him yet.
On the ground, rescue workers conduct a thorough search in the dunes and forests along the Wanda River, leaving no stone unturned. Fearing for the worst, Xu's family kneels down and prays for his safety.
That day, he was actually just resting at home, but then he received a call from his co-workers and said he had to go help.
Apparently, Xu Deyi, who was on vacation, got called in to help with evacuating tourists in the area, and soon tragedy struck. While 2 diggers were clearing away the debris, another landslide occurred and a worker was struck by a rock on his head. Thankfully, the injury was not fatal and he is now recuperating in a hospital.
On Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, the Taipei city government suddenly announced the closure of public schools and offices, which was later followed by New Taipei City. This sent both cities into chaos, as most parents had already delivered their children to school. As well, for many of the caterers that service the city school, they had already started cooking and didn't know what to do with the food on hand. Some could only throw the food away, others made the best of the situation and donated to the needy.
The sudden announcement of the closure of public schools and offices in Taipei and New Taipei City on Tuesday morning took parents and students by surprise. Catering service providers who deliver lunch for students in schools were even more troubled as most had already started cooking, such as this one in Ugu district.
I told my employees to go ahead and just cook all the rice that was soaking in water. Then I contacted the nearest Tzu Chi office, as some of the employees are in Tzu Chi, and donated the food to Tzu Chi to distribute. It's not so much about doing a good deed, but more about simply reciprocating.
After being notified, Banqiao Tzu Chi volunteers quickly delivered the cooked rice to the severely inundated Taoyuan, where local volunteers added side dishes and made them into lunch boxes for flood victims.
The 20 pots of rice we received were turned into 1,200 servings of dinner. The shortage was taken care of by our Jinsi Hall. We delivered the food that very evening.
The fresh hot meal warmed the hearts of many trapped flood victims. Instead of being discarded, the rice was giving a new purpose, thanks to Tzu Chi.
From Muar, Malaysia, retired Principal Liu Shangli, who is also a Tzu Chi media volunteer, went to Sabah hoping to conquer Mount Kinabalu with his fellow retired educators. Sadly, the trip turned tragic as Mr. Liu developed mountain sickness and passed away. After being notified, Kota Kinabalu's Tzu Chi volunteers are helping with the funeral arrangement.
Liu Shangli was a retired school principal from Muar, Malaysia. He was a nature enthusiast and came to Sabah in hope of conquering the tallest peak in Southeast Asia, Mount Kinabalu. Sadly, the hiking trip turned tragic as he succumbed to mountain sickness and passed away.
When his family saw us dressed in uniform, they just came over as if having seen their own family. I didn't know what else to say except to give them a hug.
While alive, Mr. Liu was also a Tzu Chi volunteer. Notified by their counterparts in Muar, Kota Kinabalu's Tzu Chi volunteers immediately sprang to action. They picked up Mr. Liu's family at the airport and helped with the funeral arrangements.
Seeing her so sad, I quickly tended to her and comforted her. I told her we must let the dead be at peace. If we keep on crying, we will not be able to leave this world in peace.
A good husband in his wife's eyes and a good father to his children, Mr. Liu's untimely death hit his family hard. However, his spirit will live on through them.
Truly, my husband was very kind to just about anyone. He was very nice to our family, and as long as someone needed help, he was there. I'm very grateful to Tzu Chi's brothers and sisters for helping us out. Otherwise, we simply wouldn't know where to start. Thank you very much.
As Mr. Liu's family wants to bury him back home, volunteers did their best to help. They hope the family will find peace soon, and Mr. Liu can pass on in peace.
In the state of Johor in Malaysia, Tzu Chi's Muar Liaison Office has been promoting conservation work to its community for the past 15 years. Of the 39 recycling points in Muar, one of them also provides lessons on vegetarian cooking. After the monthly Environmental Day at Tzu Chi's recycling point in Muar, Malaysia, volunteers set up a vegetarian classroom on the other side of the street to teach how to cook meatless dishes.
You can buy Indian curry, but don't just add it in, or else you won't taste the curry.
The recycling point was established in April of 2008 with only 3 volunteers. Today, not only have more people joined the conservation work, but volunteers are also promoting vegetarianism on site.
Many people actually want to eat vegetarian food, but they don't know how. It is easier to promote vegetarianism here at the recycling station.
Nearly 30 participants arrive each month to help sort recyclables and also learn ways to cook delicious vegetarian food.
It was quite difficult to start with because I felt that the food I cooked didn't go well with rice, and it was only just vegetables. But after coming here, I learned a few delicious meatless dishes.
Seeing how these residents are safeguarding the environment by taking on vegetarianism and sorting recyclables, volunteers know their years of hard work is paying off. The Dragon Boats Festival is just a week away, and city volunteers in Penang, Malaysia held a 10,000 Zongzi One Heart fundraiser from June 1st to June 4th. Prior to the event, 1,300 volunteers gathered to wrap over 32,000 Zongzi for the charity drive and raise some $60,000, which will be used for the construction of dialysis centers and education centers.
In the cafeteria of Penang's Jinsi Hall, hundreds of volunteers are hard at work, assembling vegetarian sticky rice dumplings for 10,000 Zongzi One Heart charity drive.
There are volunteers from areas as far as Taiping and Pangkalan Hulu, and also a few from out of town as well. At first they were overwhelmed, but when they see the result and so many people gathering to help, it becomes a joyful occasion instead.
The volunteers come from all walks of life, so everyone has a different way of wrapping zongzi. But the one thing that is in common is the love that is put into it.
The main goal of the fundraiser is to raise money for our dialysis and education centers.
This year, we arranged to go on vacation in Penang again, and happened to coincide with your charity drive. Although we do not live here, we want to help out. We're glad to be of service.
Besides needing a task force to assemble and wrap the zongzi, selling them is also important.
When I started, I was afraid to aim high, but then I realized that this is a good cause. So I set my goals from 20 to 50 to 150, and now I'm up to 270 zongzi.
These 50 sticky rice dumplings are reserved for my dad. He will take them to work with him and share the message with his co-workers.
In 4 days, the volunteers wrapped close to 32,000 sticky rice dumplings, and all of them were sold, which is a great beginning for the dialysis and education centers.
As the Southern Hemisphere enters the winter months, in Free State, South Africa, temperatures at night often drop below zero. To help residents endure the bitter cold, Lesotho Tzu Chi volunteers went over to South Africa to distribute rice and cooking oil to those in need.
The sun may be bright, but it is still freezing cold in South Africa, where the winter months are never warm enough for residents, and oftentimes there isn't enough food to go around.
People from Tzu Chi from Taiwan for the rice they donate at Yellow Hostel. My kids is very happy with this rice.
In the town of Ladybrand, located on the border of South Africa and Lesotho, residents are happy to see Tzu Chi volunteers arrive with bags of rice and cooking oil. They burst into a chorus of Ami Tofu to welcome them. The teacher takes this opportunity to explain to the students about reciprocation.
So that also they can be able to learn, so that they can have a bright future, and next time when they have prospered, they should also help other needy people.
However the residents carry the donations home, the love they receive is the same. The love from Taiwan will keep them warm in the coming winter months.
At the Tzu Chi University in Hualien, in addition to training in their respective fields, students also get ample training in moral education. The training starts early, with entering freshmen required to take a series of classes on humanitarian and service education. Here's more.
Although the weather leaves something to be desired, participants still look forward to their upcoming outing as part of Tzu Chi's series of classes on humanitarian and service education. Today, students and volunteers are uprooting a creeper vine that is called the cancer of the forests.
When it wraps around the tree, that tree will eventually die, as it will suffocate.
In order to save these forests, students are out and about despite the hot and muggy weather.
This helps us better understand nature and how to protect it.
I've heard about it, but haven't really had a chance to put it into action. Having this opportunity to handle these problems and remove these vines by hand has been a great experience.
Today we have saved this tree, otherwise the vine would have killed it.
The Tzu Chi humanity is more than simple proper etiquette and being polite. More importantly, we have to expand the scope of our thinking and care for everything around us. For example, love the rivers, the mountains, and the earth.
At TCU, in addition to acquiring competency in their chosen field, students also receive a rich training of the heart and soul. In class, students learn of the Tzu Chi spirit and how to live their life according to it. Outside the classroom, they learn how to serve and put into practice lessons learned.
From what I have seen, these educational activities bring as much benefit for those serving as those being helped.
The series of classes on humanitarian and service education are mandatory for all freshmen at Tzu Chi University and help instill the spirit of respect life and take action in new students. Administrators and teachers hope the classes will help cultivate students with even stronger moral and humanitarian backgrounds.
Over the years, Tzu Chi University has seen generations of its students making a difference in the community. Examples include promoting vegetarianism and environmentalism outside school, as well as giving health lessons in rural schools. Let's find out more.
I'm standing in front of Tzu Chi University in Hualien. Its establishment has helped boost business in the local community.
On Zhuangjing Road opposite the university, shops of all sorts flank the street.
Tzu Chi University's special brand of humanity brought a new vibe to the local business community. Let's go and have a look.
With a Jingsi aphorism poster on the wall and offering only meatless choices, this restaurant fast became a favorite among teachers and students. Back in 2007, the university's Tzu Chi Club launched a campaign to promote vegetarianism and reusable tableware. Several dozen shops responded to the green initiative.
It's all for the environment. Generally, I think environmentalism has taken root.
You can see the result of the campaign around here, but if you go further into the city, it has yet to make an impact.
The affectionate greetings exchanged are indicative of the deep friendship between the young pupils and their visitors. Medical students from Tzu Chi University come to Jianqing Elementary School 3 times per semester to give lessons on health education. Their visits also inadvertently motivate pupils to learn.
We have less and less new teachers at our school, so pupils are always seeing the same teachers, and it's gotten less exciting. When the medical students come, they help stimulate the pupils' desire to learn. Some of our graduates come back to our school to teach their underclassmen as part of their community service.
Tzu Chi University students have also injected new life and energy into local nursing homes.
Anybody who comes to Hualien is bound to fall in love with it and will start thinking about ways to make this a better place. We're getting a lot of grassroots activities.
Here in eastern Taiwan, Tzu Chi University students' passion for humanitarianism are rubbing off on locals as they celebrate volunteer service as a great way to connect with others.
In Richmond, Canada, Tzu Chi volunteers held a tea ceremony for Tzu Chi Pan Yangbing, who is now training to become a Tzu Chi commissioner. Through the ceremony, volunteers expressed their best wishes for him and hope to encourage others to carry on Tzu Chi's missions.
During many local and Tzu Chi's recycling events, one can always see Tzu Chi volunteer Pan Yangbing.
Yangbing has never been absent from the first day of our gatherings.
He was a volunteer since I first joined Tzu Chi. Yangbing is always the first one to arrive at our events.
Today, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding a tea gathering for Pan Yangbing to express their best wishes for the soon-to-be Tzu Chi commissioner. During the ceremony, Yangbing shares with everyone his life as a Tzu Chi.
He is a candid and sincere person. He works really hard and always has a sense of responsibility for everything he does.
Through a sign language performance, Yangbing and other volunteers hope to encourage more people to carry on Tzu Chi's missions.
On June 9th, the Tzu Chi USA headquarters in St. Demas held the 2012 Tzu Chi Scholarship Ceremony. Among the scholarship recipients, 2 students who, despite coming from difficult environments, vowed to study hard and even set goals to become a doctor and a lawyer in the future so they can help other needy families.
Today, Tzu Chi USA headquarters in St. Demas is holding the 2012 Tzu Chi Scholarship Ceremony. The event is attended by approximately 300 people, including 80 scholarship receivers. Beneficiary Jasmine Haregi, who has been living at a home after her mother lost her job due to a car accident and her father was jailed. The young woman set a goal to become a lawyer so she can help those in need.
In the future, I would like to become an attorney or a lawyer who can help low-income families. It's because my family has been impacted by the system many times.
Another scholarship receiver is Jeanette Wright, who uses sign language to communicate with her hearing-impaired parents. Knowing the hardship disabled people go through, she hopes to become a doctor to benefit them.
Because I grew up always doing sign language because my parents are deaf, I'm always a very hands-on person, and so I think that's what really attracted me to the surgical field as well as helping other people out.
To encourage more student aid recipients to join Tzu Chi, Tzu Chis from UCLA and UC Irvine also attended the event. After listening to a talk on Tzu Chi, Jeanette decided to sign up as one.
It's something that I've always been looking for because, you know, I love to help people. I don't know if they have one at Brown, but if they don't, I'm making one.
We have Tzu Chis in many universities, and they're here today to encourage more scholarship recipients to join in. We hope in the future they can give back to society and help even more people. Back to Taiwan, the National Police Day is celebrated on June 15th, which was yesterday. Tzu Chi volunteers around the island held various activities to express their gratitude to the hardworking police officers, and one such event was held in Yonghe district of New Taipei City, where volunteers prepared sign language performance, as well as flowers and fruit baskets, which they handed out at every station. That's all the time we have for. Have a safe weekend. Goodbye.